first one is called the social identity. This is how people see you. How people see you. So ako, yung social identity ko, I'm married to Margot, we have kids, and then I teach in a school, we own a school. Yun yung social identity ko. That is how you see me. How you see me. Matanong ako, nagpa-participate ako sa lectures. That is social identity. And that's how you see me. But the more important thing that defines the kind of life I live, one powerful thing is called the personal identity. The invitation for you this afternoon is to try to discover that. What is your personal identity? I will share mine. Your personal identity is how you see yourself when nobody is watching. When you go to the mirror, ikaw lang mag-isa, nakuha mo na yung makeup, tapos ikaw lang mag-isa, and then you look at yourself in the mirror. How do you see yourself, or how do you feel about yourself? Okay. Ako, I always ask the question, why is it that I tend to be a people pleaser? But palagi akong gustong mag-please ng tao. But hindi ako makatanggi. Why could I not say no? Somebody will borrow money from me, I will lend money. Somebody will ask for help, I will give money. Then Margot would say, yung mata niya pulang-pula yun, baka bibili ng drugs yun. Ganun siya. And then, ako, I would just give. And then, when I studied counseling, I learned about the importance of the past. And then, what happened to me was, I interviewed my mom about my childbirth. And then doon, nagkwento niya. Sabi niya, 4 kami, boys kami lahat, wala kaming girls. So, ang kwento niya na eldest lalaki, second lalaki, tapos she was pregnant with me. 1970s. So, walang ultrasound noong 1970s. Yung feeling niya, babae. So, bumili na siya ng mga damit ng babae. Sabi niya sa mga relatives, babae na to. And then, yung nursery, yung room para sa bata, pinake na pink, naging pink na. Tapos, lumabas ako. So, hindi na nakita. Pag sabi ng OB, siling, lalaki. Yung sabi niya sa akin was, lalaki naman! Ganun talaga, umiyak siya. So, yung feeling ko, siguro 2 months, baka hindi ako hinawakan nun. Kasi may tumatayo, Dok. Dapat wala di ba? So, hindi siguro ako hinawakan. The whole time I grew up, I never felt favoritism in the family. Yun pala, the reason I was mabait sa family. Kasi nun pala, nung first day pa lang ng life ko, unwanted na ako. So, yung personal identity ko ay ang unwanted. Yun. So, karamihan ng nangyayari sa atin, why are we stressed? Why are we... This is listening to Dokha from yesterday to today. The reason for me that I get sick or may rhinitis ako is because my personal identity does not align with my real identity. Diba sabi ni Doc, we are loved by... Doc, ano nga? I am
the full expression
of God's love.
Just as God is love.
Just as God is love.
So am I.
So am I. What is my identity? What is my real identity? This is my real identity. I am God's beloved child. That is my spiritual identity. I will go to that later. But my personal identity is I am unwanted. This is how I feel when I'm at my worst. And sometimes what happens in my life is God is presenting me with opportunities bigger than myself, I will not receive it. Or I will be afraid because if I say yes, what if they will not want me? What if what I will do is not pleasing to you? What if you will not like my talk? What if you will not like my book? I will be afraid. So when you read that book, one of the most gratifying comments I got after I wrote that book was from a close cousin. Sabi ni Paul, sabi niya, Mark, you have written with courage. Kasi sinulat ko lahat, wala akong tinago doon sa book, lahat ng experiences namin. So, kung gusto mo yung book, kung ayaw mo yung book, like Brother Bo, problema niyo na yun. Basta I give that with love. But, if I just stayed here sa personal identity, I would never write a book like that. Because it talks about our story, it talks about my weakness, that book. I would be afraid because you might not want that book, you might not buy it. I would be afraid. But because I discovered this, I'm God's beloved child, I was able to get above this. So the question is, for me, if we want to be healed, we have to find out what is your personal identity. The cause of the cancer is a misalignment with who you truly are, which is God's beloved child, and your personal identity. What is that? What is your personal identity? So, what we can do, my invitation for you right now is just ask yourself that question. One, what was your experience during childbirth? Were you born in marriage or out of marriage? Malaki yun. Kasi if you were born out of marriage, you have to face the fact. Do not run away from it. You were unwanted. Walang bata out of marriage that was wanted. There are some kids na the mother intentionally wants to be born, wants to give birth outside of marriage. But most kids born outside of marriage are unwanted. In fact, some of unwanted kids were attempted to be killed by either the mommy takes something, or the mommy does something to the belly, or prays that this is not real. Ilang babae who are not married, who discover they're pregnant, would say, yes, I'm pregnant. How many will celebrate that? Most women who discover they are pregnant outside of marriage are afraid. Because what if the partner will not love me that I'm pregnant now? What if or I'm not ready? What will my family say? So if you were born there, even if you're a child of God, your personal identity will be, I am unwanted, I am unloved, I am rejected. So it is important that you discover this one. Why? Because it's a decision you make. And it stays in the unconscious. It controls your whole life, in fact. Yung isang teacher, maganda siya. Pero yung nangyari sa kanya, 5 years of marriage, I think, 3rd year pa lang, yung husband naghanap na ng ibang babae. Please forgive, please forgive. After about 2 years, another babae. Yung concept ng teacher, I am ugly. Ugly. Kahit tingnan mo siya, Gil, maganda siya. Pero tingin niya sa sarili niya, pangit ako. Kasi kung maganda ako, ba't maghanap yung husband ko? So, for some, the experience is in the past. For some, it is a present experience that changes the way we see ourselves. So, you can do this again and again, but if you are not aware of your personal identity, this is going to misalign your life. Instead of looking at yourself as a whole, sabi ni Doc, fragmented yung tingin mo sa sarili mo. Because your mind is saying, I am loved by God, I am loved by God, I am loved by God. You go to church, mahal ka ng Panginoon. Doc will say, you are loved by God. But deep down, no, I'm not loved by God. Worse pa is something happened to you. Abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, whatever abuse. I am abused, I'm unwanted. And then, the most the most, there are two other personal identities that are most difficult also. One is, I am guilty, or if you committed something wrong, and up to now you cannot forgive yourself because you committed something wrong. I am guilty. I'm guilty. Worst pa is, sometimes, something wrong has been done to me. Pero yung pag-interpret ko po, halimbawa ako na molest ng tito na halimbawa gay, tapos ako bata pa, lalaki, tapos ginamit ng tito. Yung tingin ko sa sarili ko is, I am dirty. I'm dirty. Worse, I am shame. I'm ashamed. This is called shame-based identity. Ako yung victim, pero yung personal identity ko is, I am dirty. I am impure. I am abused. I am used. So, this is something that we need to be aware of, but discover that that is not who I am. But many times, we hear this, God loves you, God loves you, God loves you, God loves you, God loves you. But this is stronger until we realize this and we say that is not who I am. And when it comes again, I will say to myself, no, Mark. Yes, you thought your mom did not want you, but you are loved by God. And that would change everything. So the reset button is to come back to this truth. I am God's beloved child.